Hello everyone, this is Major Arlene reporting and welcome back to The Sims 4. Alright, as you may or may not have guessed from the name, I have started watching Yuri on Ice. Yeah, I'm watching Yuri on Ice. I'm almost done with the first season, so basically I've made the 3 characters that I guess anybody is going to give a fuck about, but the ones that I really like. Yuri, of course, the main one. Yeah, Yuri's pretty interesting to me because, I mean, the whole thing is sort of interesting to me because it's an anime about figure skating. There's a lot of comedy elements to it. It's sort of like a slice of life sort of thing. It's basically what Free did way back in like 2013. Way back in 2013, but you know, relatively speaking, this is sort of what Free did for the anime community, you know, a couple years back, only to a more extreme level. Yeah. But there are a few times in this anime where I've said, "Holy shit! Just back up a second," because the amount of stuff that is going on and the kind of relationships that you're looking at in each one. I think part of the problem is that maybe it's part of my issue is with it gets too distracting with so many different characters, and are you really supposed to give a fuck about them, or just temporarily give a fuck about them, or are you ever going to see them again? You don't know. So it's kind of like one of those animes where you're just like, there's a lot of characters that you really don't care about, so to speak. I think that was probably the thing with Free, is like it kind of kept it simple. Like, you didn't really have to care about too many characters all at once, but this one, it's like, delves into every figure skater's backstory, and it's like, well, it's cool, but at the same time, it's a little too much detail, especially for a 12-episode series thus far. But anyway, back to the main thing. Figure skating is really great, I think, and I think I sort of feel a connection with it because I used to dance when I was little. I used to do a lot. I started off doing ballet when I was like 6 years old. I did it for about 8 years and then stopped because horseback riding and dancing, you use the same muscle 2 different ways, and literally my body was like just, my muscles were fighting against each other, and I had to finally decide on one thing, so I decided to go with horseback riding. Sort of regretted that decision, but you know, it is what it is. But yeah, figure skating, and actually you see in the anime, and I don't know, you know, about figure skating if it's really like this, but you see the characters doing ballet lessons to sort of, I mean, it has sort of the same flows and dynamics. The difference between figure skating and ballet is that you have a lot more momentum build up when you're figure skating because your speed is different, much faster. You're able to get more into the air. It's really it's a very precise kind of sport. Like, you have to know exactly how fast you need to be going, you know, how many rotations you're going to be doing, you know, just finding a way to make sure that you're doing what you need to do and can land those jumps properly. That's one thing that I did like about Yuri on Ice, is that not every single figure skater landed their jumps. I mean, Yuri, obviously, because he's, you know, still sort of, I don't necessarily say struggling, but he's, everybody, you know, it definitely capitalizes on the fact that they're all human and they all make mistakes. They may not be big, huge mistakes, but, they're you know, they all make mistakes of some degree. So it's not showing all these, you know, figure skaters as these perfect skaters who never do anything wrong, which I think is wonderful. So, yeah, that's what I really enjoyed about the whole of it. I was never huge into figure skating, but I may or may not be watching more of it now that I've watched Yuri on Ice. Of course, it's not going to be nearly as intense, but anyway. So here's Mr. Yuri. He looks like a dweeb. I need to go through and actually mod these properly. Probably part of my goal is that I'm trying to use as much stock sort of stuff as possible. This comes from the Great Outdoors mod, or whichever sort of thing. Oh, yeah, sorry. Because XSplit doesn't like Origins overlay, I can't like go back and look. Which one is it? Which expansion pack was it? I don't have every single expansion and stuff pack. Where is it? Outdoor Retreat, yeah. So this is from Outdoor Retreat, is the jacket. The pants are from Spa Day pack. The shoes are just stock, and so are the glasses. The hair's actually stock as well. The eyes are, I believe, N54 from the anime pack. So use those. This is for Dine Out. Shoes and everything else should be stock. And here's where you see Yuri's hair slicked back. He looks so amazing with his hair slicked back. He is fucking hot. I don't know what it is about him having his hair slicked back, and I know he just does it for performances, but I find it so interesting that he does his hair that way, because he doesn't, it doesn't seem like the kind of thing that he would do. I wish I could get his costumes in here, and I'm sure somebody's made them already, but I would love to just, like, put him in a costume. The costume, he looks so good in that costume of Victor's. Oh my god. It's ridiculous how good he looks, but anyway. Yeah, blah, blah, blah. No, we don't really care about that. Now do we? But anyway, there's Yuri. Basically all stock stuff. It's N54 for the eyes, but other than that, fairly good amount of stock sort of stuff. Alright, Mr. Victor Nikiforov? Motherfucker, I can't say it properly. I know it's Victor, but that's all I know. Yeah. Victor actually had trouble trying to get his eyes to look right, because his eyes like go from like this blue to like green. They're sort of like, they go back and forth, I think, depending on his mood. So I kind of just like went in the middle and did like a bluish green, or a greenish blue, one of the two. I don't know. I don't freaking know. Same jacket that Yuri's wearing, just in red. I had to kind of improvise on their sort of sweatsuits because they don't have like the really cool looking sweatsuits. Victor looking all sharp in his suit that he wanted to wear for coaching. Athletic. Yada yada. The hair, I'm just gonna show y'all the hair. I think it's Aid. No, it's not Aid. Oh god, who makes that hair? I wish I knew, because they don't put their name on their stuff. I don't think it's Aid. It might be Aid, actually. I know it's not Stealthic. It's not Stealthic, it's not Aid. Anyway, but that's what it is. And it's really not even, this is much more slicked back than what Victor's hair is actually like, but I really couldn't find anything else that would look better on him. So this is what I used for him. I almost forgot one other thing that I needed to do very quickly, because I forgot I had this. Yeah, there we go. Of course, this is going to make his brows look all messed up now. Ooh, we are not doing white eyebrows. That doesn't work. Okay, they don't quite look right, but... Anyway, so there's Victor. Yeah. We'll say match hair to some degree. I don't even know how that's going to work. Anywho, yeah, that's Victor. And last but not least is Yuri. Now, Yuri is really interesting to me because, I mean, not even like, with Victor, he's kind of like this one note sort of. I remember reading something about characters and the way you make them fall in love, and one of those things is that you don't make a character that simply exists to love another one. I mean, they exist and just happen to love another, one of the characters, and happens to love that main character. I think that's part of the reason why I don't really like it all that much. I mean, Victor, you don't really know a whole lot about him, really, other than that he's really, really awesome at figure skating. That's all you know about him, really, unless there's something in the last, 2 or 3 episodes that I haven't seen yet. If there's something else explaining that, but you don't really know a ton about him. You know he likes Yuri. I mean, probably even loves him. More than likely loves him. That sort of thing. But really, other than that, you don't know a whole lot about Victor. That's the one criticism I do have about Yuri on Ice, is that you know a lot about Yuri, and you know a lot about the rest. I mean, you know probably more about the rest of the characters than you do about Victor. So, I don't know. It's kind of one of those things that just sort of frustrates me, because like, I feel like Victor should be much more fleshed out as a character. I mean, he should not just be, you know, because he's Yuri's idol and Yuri loves him, that's your reason to care about him. It doesn't necessarily work like that. You know, what's his backstory? Where'd he come from? I mean, obviously he's been skating a long time, so what inspired him to skate, you know? That's the other criticism I have, is that you really have no idea what actually inspired these kids to do their skating in the first place. I don't know. I mean, and obviously that changes as time goes on, but what got them into it? Like, I want to know these things. So I have a lot of questions about this series that it doesn't answer, that it should have answered in like the first couple of episodes or so. I mean, and I know it seems like pointless exposition, but it's important when you're trying to understand characters. So anyway, there's little Yurio, as they call him, the Russian punk. I hope I captured his punkness enough. Yuri's actually an interesting character, and I like the way that Victor used Agape and Eros to work with each of the Yuris, because, you know, Yuri, the Japanese skater, he doesn't have a ton of confidence in his abilities. He's obviously talented enough that he's gotten to the Grand Prix before, but he doesn't believe in himself enough, which of course I'm guilty of as well, so I guess maybe that's why I relate to him a little bit. But so Victor chooses to do Eros to him, and it takes Yuri a little while to figure out what Eros means to him, which of course it ends up being Victor, of course, because, you know, Victor and Yuri are destined to be in love forever and ever, that sort of thing. But Yurio, his reason is actually, he, you know, when Victor assigns him Agape, obviously he's very pissed, but the one thing that he hones in on is his grandfather, because his grandfather raised him, and so you don't really know what happened to his parents or anything like that, but, you know, Agape is unconditional love, Eros is sexual love, so Agape for Yuri, Yurio, even, you know, he's starting in the senior, he's, you know, finally starting into the senior division, so this is his first time really competing in there, so, but all this time he's kind of like wanted to really just do Eros more, but when Victor forces him to do this short program for Agape, it makes him look at things a little bit differently, which is great. Probably Yurio is a better fleshed out character than any of the other ones. I mean, Yuri is obviously a fleshed out character, but Yurio, right there, he's a very well fleshed out character, and I really like the way that they did things with him. And you actually get to see him. I'm not gonna spoil it. I don't want to spoil it. I don't want to spoil too many things, because I don't know how many of y'all. I mean, obviously, it was a super duper hyped anime, which is why I didn't want to watch it for the most part, because I saw things on Tumblr about it all the time. But I just I didn't want to watch it, because literally all this stuff I was seeing, I was like, I cannot handle. I mean, you know, I tend to want to watch things after they've already happened, and after the hype's died down a little bit. My Tumblr's died down a little bit for that, so it's been good, but it's just one of those things that it's one of those animes that got really super duper overhyped, I think. I mean, it's good. It's a decent anime, but it's really not great as far as my standards go. I mean, the animation's kind of spotty in some places, and the writing's a little bit poor, but other than that, I mean, it is what it is. It's an anime. It's not one I'd recommend to everybody. You kind of have to be open-minded to watch it. And definitely it's not something to look for if you're looking for something like serious or something full of action, because this is not the case. So, anywho, alright, so Yuri. I got distracted a minute. I tend to spend a lot of these Sims 4 make the characters things more of an analysis of the anime itself, so I apologize for that. Let me make you a little bit skinnier. Yuri. So Yuri, yeah, he's a Russian punk, the pretty Russian punk. The hair's by Kijiko Cat Food. Go on their website. They have awesome Sims 4 mods. Love their mods to death, for the hair and all that good stuff. So, yeah, just check that out. It's kind of like freaking Justin Bieber hair. This is not exactly Yuri's hair, but pretty close. The eyes are N54, I think. I'm fairly certain. Wait. Which ones are they? Yeah, N54. Will probably look the best. This is not Yuri on Ice's eye style is a little bit different than some of the ones I've seen, so I kind of had to improvise a little bit. This wasn't my first choice, but it probably looked the best out of all of them. So, but yeah, Yuri, here he is in his sort of gear. He doesn't. I know I'm not accurate 100%, but yeah, it's close enough. And then oh, that's not what I wanted. There's his athletic. So, yeah, so that's Yuri on Ice. It's sort of, I wish I could do the costumes and stuff, because I could really go to town on that stuff, but I just don't have them, and I don't know if anybody's modded them, because Yuri on Ice is fairly new, and it takes a while for mods to come out. I'm not really expecting mods to be out yet. I mean, it's been about a month since the series finished, but I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I might take a look and maybe do a redo of this and add some more characters if I decide to. But yeah, so that is the Yuri on Ice characters. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys next time. Until then, this is Major Arlene. Over and out.